Hey folks, this is Ben Yessel. How's it going? I have a little bit of politics on my mind. I don't know why. I usually don't talk about this stuff. But I was having a chat with one of the roommates I have here. He's a good guy. And I guess it just, I had some trains of thought that from earlier times that came back a little bit. And uh, it might be good to go about the subject in a way where I'm talking about my thoughts on the US presidents, at least while I've been alive. Maybe one that was when I was a little baby, so I don't remember. Well, we'll start with Carter, and you guys will know a bit more of how I see things politically after I talk about these guys, for sure. Well, the easy thing about Carter is that I didn't agree with his decisions that he made in terms of whatever was going on economically in the United States. But I do like the man. I like Carter. I like his honesty. I like his character. I like everything about him. I'm just not a Democrat. I don't believe in whatever he did economically. But so that's Carter. It's an easy one. But Jimmy Carter is someone I would love to talk to some more. I'm not saying I would completely disagree with him. I think there are things that we can agree on with Carter. Of course, with Reagan, I'm a lot more in agreement with Reagan's decisions. And Ronald Reagan, was a Democrat before he was a Republican. Um, and I've often been told that John F. Kennedy, of all people, was more conservative or more Republican than a lot of people realize. It's interesting, isn't it? Kennedy's made out to be this super liberal guy, and no, no, not really. I mean, but we're not talking about Kennedy. And I just seriously, I like John F. Kennedy. Actually, I do. I know he's a womanizer. Ah, well. So, but anyway, but Reagan is very much a man that I like. The only things I've ever heard that aren't so great about Reagan is two things. One is a conversation he had with Nixon that it's on YouTube, and it makes him sound like a racist a little bit. But Ronald Reagan, to my best of my knowledge, he never treated black people poorly himself. It's just that I think Nixon was probably more racist than Reagan. And then Reagan was friends with Walt Disney. You know, make of that what you will. A lot of people think that Disney is this huge racist guy, and the thing is that however they felt about people that weren't white, they never. I don't know of Disney or Reagan ever doing anything, especially in terms of anything violent against anybody that wasn't white. And these are earlier times that both these guys were in their primes. People that weren't white were not treated generally as well as they are treated now. Duh. I really wish that people would realize that and stop um, criticizing people that are dead, that can't defend themselves, who are simply just more racist than we are. It's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's like, yeah, of course they're more racist than we are. This is before the civil rights era, or these are people that lived most of their lives before the civil rights era. Jeez, man. Put one plus one together, man. We all know about Ben Franklin being a lover of the English, and that he wanted more English people, and not even the Southern Germans, the Swedes even. He's like, nope, just English. We want more English in the United States. Think about what you will. It's just one thing. It's just one thing. So yes, you say, oh, Benjamin Franklin is such a racist. But come on now. Ben Franklin didn't hurt one black person ever. He wouldn't hurt a fly that was black. He just it's just I don't know, man. Okay, anyway, back to presidents. So Carter and Reagan both are people I would want to talk to in the afterlife. Okay, here's where it gets interesting. George H.W. Bush. When I was in fifth grade, I remember hearing about George H.W. Bush, and he was the vice president when Reagan was president, and he had been a leader of the CIA, and he seemed very capable to me. But I was just like, who is this guy? Who is Reagan? I mean, who is George H.W. Bush? You know, you're just kind of fed these things. You're taught these things. You know, I kept looking at him like, I don't know. Carter seemed like a nice guy, and Reagan also seemed like a nice guy. George H.W. Bush seemed kind of, I don't know. Okay, he was conservative, but just, I don't know. I never really could express why I didn't like George H.W. Bush. But was told he was conservative, so okay, you know. I'm not too crazy about the man, but I really have never really. And then, of course, when I got older, I learned about all the conspiracy theories about the Bushes and Prescott Bush and the connection with Gerald Ford, but Prescott Bush's connection with the Nazis, Germany, and the Skull and Bones Society. And you know, the funny thing though is that as I've learned about the Illuminati since my 20s, um, they're they come from all different organizations, all different areas. You know, you have some people that are from the Skull and Bones, some people are just Masons, some people from wherever, and they're handpicked in Bohemian Grove, and yeah, yep. So I mean, they all these guys, both Carter and Reagan, knew who the real people were that had the real power, but they just felt like whatever they could do to be president would be a good thing for the United States. So yeah, but yep, that's how it works, man. George H.W. Bush was extremely Illuminati, extreme, extreme. But you always just hear the politics as usual stuff, right? That's what you always hear. Um, so then we go to who is next after George H.W. Bush? Clinton. Well, Clinton was a lot of bad things. He was a rapist. He was, um, well, pervert, of course. Um, I've heard some very questionable things that he did regarding selling secrets to China. Um, when Clinton was in office, the USA went from a really great nation, in my opinion, to well, everything just kind of went downhill a little bit. I'm talking about morally, because the guy in office was sexually promiscuous. But you keep hearing rumors of things that Clinton did that never really seem to go away, do they? We know about the rape stuff, and yeah, that's pretty damning. But there's a lot of things that we keep hearing about, and they seem to involve um, eating away at some attack on the United States at some level. And I hate Clinton. I can't stand him. Um, oh yeah, I mean he tries to be the good old boy, right? But no, it's an act. Why do I believe this stuff? Well, if Clinton really was a good old country boy farmer from Arkansas, and he was a good Christian guy, well, wouldn't he have been more like Jimmy Carter? Yeah, he would have. He would just, you don't, you can just sense, you just feel the integrity of somebody when they talk. It's clear as crystal a lot of times with some people. Like with Clinton, it's like No, you just feel like he's trying to sell you something. Just get this nice, easygoing smile, right? Who gives a rip if he played saxophone on SNL? I mean, seriously, man. Anyway, so I hate Clinton. I hate him. Hate him. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that I haven't even talked about. I've heard rumors of him murdering people secretly, and I've heard rumors of all kinds of stuff. So I really just don't give a crap about Monica Lewinsky at all, because that was just some stupid little thing that was just blown way out of, I don't know, it's just dumb. Okay, so after Clinton, when we had, who was it, George W. Bush? Was it time for him? I think so. And W tried to be this, he talked like he was this folksy Texan country boy. Again, nope. No, it was just politics as usual with the Illuminati in charge, and they used the Iraq War to, you know why? We know it's about oil, but Saddam Hussein was kind of a bad boy, but Hussein would not put up with Illuminati governance. He wasn't doing what they wanted him to do, so the CIA took him out via our government, our military. Most of the time when you hear things about the Middle East, it has something to do with the Illuminati is killing people because they're doing things to oppose the Illuminati. That's essentially what's going on, more or less. When you ever hear about wars and things, it's the Illuminati versus whoever. And as long as there are young Arab men that will take up arms to defend their nation, there will always be bloodshed until Jesus comes again. Because the Illuminati is not going to stop fighting the Arabs. And the Arabs aren't not going to stop fighting the Illuminati. Like, people dying. And not just the Arabs, it's anybody else that can't stand the Illuminati in the, neighboring areas. So it's like, we think it's this Muslim versus Christian thing, or we think it's this Israel versus the rest of the Middle East, and well, no, it isn't. Because if the Jews and the Christians in the world, if everybody was truly Judaic or Christian in their way that they would behave, there would be no issue with the Muslims, because they would be Christ-like, right? So you see what I'm saying? The easiest way of putting this is it's always like the Masons, it's always like the, what was it, the McCoys and the Hatfields. So it's like the McCoys and the Hatfields, or it's like that historically, the Irish and the English. Whenever you have people that have died, the fact that people died, like loved ones, like sons and stuff, daughters or husbands, that's not going away anytime soon. You look at the Russia-Ukraine issue. That's serious business. So it's like you're gonna have wars that keep going for the longest time, because it's you killed me, you killed us, no, you killed us, you killed us. The problem with our modern life is that there's this world power, the Illuminati, unlimited power from the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, and they're hiding behind all kinds of other governments that nobody's gonna say, the Illuminati are hiding. They always hide. The U.S. government or some European NATO or some other power is always Israel. They're always the invisible ones. The Illuminati always remain invisible up until more recent times. That is because who's causing all the battle? Who's causing all the fighting? Who's supporting guys that will just kill? The CIA supports terrorist organizations, man. I'm saying all this stuff because George W. Bush was we'd say, oh, he's a hawk, right? He's a stand up and fight evildoers. I mean, it's just we thought he's just, some people honestly thought that George W. Bush was an idiot because he acted like an idiot sometimes. It was all an act, folks. He's far more intelligent than he made himself out to be. It's all a freaking act. He knew what he was doing. He was just being the hawk, the warmonger conservative that a lot of people wanted him to be. And all he was doing in reality was just, oh, yep, Skull and Bones and Forever and Illuminati. Yep, we're going to make the military-industrial complex lots of money. And we'll protect our oil interests, and we'll make sure nobody gets out of line in the Middle East. That's what was going on. Period. And then you get to after George W. Bush. Then you had Obama, right? Then you had Trump. Now we have Biden. Well, between these three clowns, Obama was the one that we thought was going to be restoring peace and law and order, and in a way, or he was going to be the one that brought justice, made black people more wealthy. Nope, he didn't. Of course he didn't. What we were all expecting. We were hoping that he was different, right? At least black people were hoping he was different. Nope. And then I'm like, some people say, well, maybe because he was battling a white Congress. He's always up against the defense, right? He's just trying to do his best for everybody, the common man, minorities. So, look, Obama is he's a politician. He's like all so many modern presidents. He's just a puppet. What could he do anyway? What could he honestly do? I have no disagreement with George Carlin when he talks about how all the things that the presidents do, it's all just crap. They don't do anything real. The people that have the real power, they're the wealthy, super rich, those guys. They have so much more power than any president ever did. Just the people that are in charge, that are at the heads of the companies that make all the military stuff. Those guys have a heck of a lot of power. A heck of a lot of it. Why? Because they're literally producing the things that the U.S. government buys, always getting more in debt. And it's what keeps the military of the United States, one of the things that keeps the military so dangerous. That's a lot of power. There's a lot of power that comes in with any company that makes destructive, extremely destructive weapons. Obviously. I hope that makes sense. It should. And I'm looking at we're looking at the conservatives here, right? But trust me, there's other things that Democrats do that are just as bad. It's just that we're often talking about things like secularism and education, which weakens the moral character of people. Yeah, it does. That whole thing. That's also funded by the Illuminati, by the way. It's all started, the whole mess in the public education in the United States. It's all Illuminati related. Every bit of it. They knew what was going on. So, Obama. He's kind of a nobody, in my opinion. He was always a nobody. He was lackluster. He was so calm and he's so whatever. But no, he's just. I've heard people talk about him. Like, shake his hand. Obama is lifeless. He has no life in him. There's nothing about Obama that even remotely suggests that he's a man of character. He's just really good at keeping his calm. That's all you can say about him. And maybe we might have thought that he had some great programs that would help the poor people, not just if you're black and stuff. Well, I don't know. The more you like, well, we know about the communist thing and whatever, Marxism from Obama's dad, mom. Okay, we won't get into rumors. There's a lot of them about Obama. Oh, and then there's Trump. Well, sure. I mean, there's a lot more pro-Trump um, folks in my religion. The general train of thought is Trump has done great things for the U.S. economy, but I don't like Trump as a person. That's my usual train of thought. There's a lot of things about Trump that are really odd. I just saw him when I was younger as this TV personality, like that one guy in Good Morning America. What's his name? I don't know. Anyway, the guy in Good Morning America, Regis Philbin. I saw him as this rich real estate tycoon guy that has a TV personality. And for some reason, Rosie O'Donnell hated his guts because he was a chauvinist pig that was, I don't know, womanizer or something. And so then Trump got involved in politics. And then we see all the Trumpisms. This, MAGA, make America great again. Well, okay. And Trump kind of tried to do this thing, I'm sure, where he was, I'm sure, working with the Illuminati so he would do things for them. But he was, Newt Gingrich called him an outsider, but was he really? Like, oh, well, maybe the said, maybe we need somebody in office who's a real outsider so people stop being so suspicious of us. But maybe we just want him to be in there for a little bit. Like, yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Anything that furthers the Illuminati's goals, the Illuminati's going to be in favor of. Then after Trump, we get Biden. Biden, just like Obama. What can we say about his presidency? What really stands out? Can you guys think of anything that really stands out? I mean, it's just or anything good, anything that has helped us. Is there anything that you guys can think of for any of these guys? I mean, granted, I like Carter and Reagan personality-wise, or I feel like I could talk to them for real. But is there anything that anybody has benefited from, really, from any of these guys? That are Americans at least? Is your living standard higher? Did you become more patriotic when they were in office? Did you feel like the United States was a stronger nation in a good way? Were we a good example to the rest of the world? Did we really try to help people? Were things going in the right direction when this person, it just seems like it's always been business as usual. We all pay our bills. We all, always have endless bills, of course. But the thing is that economically, it's like almost impossible to get wealthier and build a life that way, or to, and some people just keep living their lives as though they're poor, lower middle class, like they just, whatever it is, they never seem to catch a break. And the Democrats keep saying that they're on the poor people's side. No, they're not. No, they're not. Not at all. It's just much lip rhetoric stuff. The money that we spend on welfare, where does it go? It doesn't go to people that need it. It goes to people that I don't know. It goes to foreign. Why do we spend so much money on foreign aid Seriously, I just that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make the slightest sense at all. With maybe the exception of Ukraine or something like that. So many countries, the countries seem to expect that. How many of us have voted on sending all this money elsewhere? So if we had the money all coming back here, the national government's just, it's insane how much we pay in taxes with the national government. It's literally insane. Literally insane. The Europeans get their money back at some level from all the services they get from the government. We don't. Yet we still pay a ton of money. But the government's super in debt because of all the money that they're wasting. So I don't like most of the presidents that have been in my life. I just don't. I mean, again, after Reagan, it just... Some people that are conservative are very pro-Trump, and I'm like, you know what? I don't. It's hard to respect somebody who doesn't treat women with respect to begin with. That is saying something about that person. I want a president who could look Jesus square in the eye without shirking away. I'll put it that way. I want a president who is a really good man. Really good man. Not just a supposedly good president. Whatever that means. And people have lost sight of what a good president should be. A good president is someone like George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. I mean, someone who is a leader of people. Someone who has moral courage. That's a good president. Both men were good men that had real moral courage. The same thing with Thomas Jefferson, John Adams. I'd like to believe that Eisenhower was that kind of person as well. I think he was. Eisenhower was a good man as well. We can get into all the other stuff about all the other guys. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about Franklin Roosevelt sometimes. It's maybe more positive than negative. But I like Theodore Roosevelt. I think Theodore Roosevelt was great. I love Calvin Coolidge, by the way. Coolidge was amazing. But he wasn't. You don't really hear a whole lot that happened in his presidency. But I like what kind of person he was. Calvin Coolidge was a real Christian. He was the kind of person where you never had to worry about anything he did in office because he was the kind of person that was, I think, worthy of the public trust. He was worthy. He was trustworthy. He was worthy of the public trust. There's nothing he ever did that, in office that he would be ashamed of doing if it came to light. I mean, nothing. And that's the kind of president we need. Anyway, you guys leave me thoughts and comments below. Catch you later. Take care.